Hi Black Circle family, and we are back for another episode, and I am here today with Zacarias Charles, aka the Queer Exec.
Hello.
Hey, my darling.
How are you?
I'm very, very well.
Good.
And before we kind of like jump into it, we can run down your CV. We've got host.
Yes.
We have voiceover.
Yes.
Presenter.
Yes.
Music.
Music is the bread and butter.
Yeah.
But everything outside of that is my own kind of like fun endeavors that I wanted to do, and I'm glad that I'm doing it as we speak.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much. Well, there's more.
There is more, and we're going to jump into it.
Yes.
But let's start with music.
Okay.
So what initially drew you to the music industry? I know that you're working with Cobalt Music Group now.
Correct.
So yeah, tell us the story.
So, okay, where do I start? So I joined Cobalt Music during the pandemic. Mm-hmm. So it was 2021 October. So of course, the pandemic, nobody was in the office, super, super quiet. But I got hired as an office coordinator at the time. So essentially that's like a little bit more of a glamorous receptionist.
Right.
A bit more responsibility.
Yes.
But essentially I was just a receptionist. But again, like I said, nobody was in the office. I was literally in the office by myself most days. But then thankfully, as time has gone on and obviously the world has opened back up, people have come back through, and then I have been able to kind of like navigate myself through Cobalt and get to a place now where I am the executive assistant to the senior vice president of royalties and business intelligence. Amazing. As well as the events coordinator. So I've been able to grow in the past nearly 3 years, actually. It'll be 3 years in October. And I'm very proud of my progression. And Cobalt has offered a lot for me, which we will talk about during this podcast. But I'm just super proud of myself that I've been able to go from an office coordinator all the way to an executive assistant / events coordinator. So far so good. Who knows? More might come. I may stay, I might leave. I don't know where my life is going to take me, especially now that I'm pivoting into a new kind of like career. And again, we'll talk about that. Yeah. But yes, that's essentially what it is. Office coordinator all the way to an EA and an events coordinator.
But that was like a pretty quick trajectory in 3 years to jump from. How did you find like the environment Cobalt kind of like fostered that growth for you?
Do you know what's really interesting? I always say to myself, I've said it to myself, I've said it to other people, that just get me into the building and I will work it out. And that's exactly what I did. I just think it's all about building relationships and putting yourself in places where you can be seen and showing up and doing the best that you can so that others in higher positions could be like, do you know what? Zacarias did something really well there. Let's put him here and see if he does even better. And that's essentially what I did. I feel like I'm going to say this because this is, I believe I have done this. And you can ask a few people at Cobalt and they probably would agree. But, obviously culture, the Cobalt culture really plummeted because of COVID, right? And then as I entered, I really was like, I guess, the only one really trying to bring the culture back together. So it started off as just like, weekly drinks and just bringing people together regardless. And then it kind of evolved from there. And now I'm in a position where I'm like not just putting together an event, but hosting the event at our new space in London Bridge. So it's really using my own initiative, you know what I mean? Being passionate about what I do. And then also just being seen at the right place at the right time. Essentially,
really important about
it's so important. It's so important, and I truly do believe that relationships are just as important as currency. And I believe whenever I connect, just as us, I want to water that connection, water that relationship, because we're all growing together, right? And so I knew that at Cobalt, I don't only want to just reach up to the seniors. There's people around me who are like on the same level as me or a little bit above me, who I can connect with, and then we can all show up together.
Right.
And then it shows the seniors that, maybe this is what we need to do, and Zacarias can be the lead for it, and that's what's happened.
Exactly. I think leadership doesn't always necessarily have to come from the executive suite.
Precisely.
It can be driven, like you said, by the culture.
Exactly
that.
And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
And sometimes, if I'm going to be honest, the execs aren't really tapped into the culture, because maybe one, they're super busy, they're traveling all over the world, they've got other things going on, and number two, I just believe when you come to an exec position, sometimes you can lose a sense of culture. within yourself and within the company. And thankfully, people like myself and others are willing to show them what the culture is. And they're like, oh, thank you for reminding me. Let's put some money behind this and, and let's take it forward and let's see where it goes. And that's what's happened.
And I think there's also the conversation, and, I've had this with previous guests around D&I.
Yeah.
And it isn't always seen as urgent.
Yeah.
But like you said, it really does feed into company culture.
Absolutely.
And without it,
Yeah.
I'm already kind of seeing a little bit of a regression.
Yeah.
In that. So kind of what's your thoughts on, making sure that we're maintaining that D&I?
Yeah, I feel like it's very interesting because it does start with us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I truly, execs don't have time to really think about DEI initiatives and stuff like that. Like they don't really. So they hire people to do that, right? And so it does start with us to show them that this is important. These are the reasons why it's important. And this is the reason why you need to put money behind it. Because it's not just, we need to just, tick a box and, the quota's done. It is really talking about diversity. It's really talking about inclusion. It's really talking about equality, right? And you're hiring people who represent that.
Yeah.
So we need to also feel seen, correct? So sometimes we have to take it within our own hands. And there's been moments at Cobalt where I've had to do it by myself, really, or do it with people, but without necessarily the support of the execs. But they come later. And that's okay. Sometimes you do have to go around that way. You can't always just rely on people in higher positions to fund or see, or you know what I mean? I just feel like just use your initiative, be driven, and the people that will see it, and then hopefully, it will go where it goes. And thankfully, it's going in the right direction. Yeah. There could be so much more, of course. There could be so much more of everything.
Always, yeah.
You know what I mean? But there's only so much they can do because they do have other
business objectives.
Exactly. Their focuses are on other, intentions. And also it's a business. They need to grow as a business. You know what I mean?
Business, make money.
And, and sometimes there is times where it's like, we can't really do that right now because we need to focus our money a bit because it's not cheap.
No.
To fund DEI initiatives because that's a whole, and Cobalt is a global company. It's, it's in America, it's here, it's in Hong Kong, it's other parts in Europe. So it's not just London. It's, they're funding the entire, and that's expensive.
Very.
That's millions. Okay. And I'm like, so yeah, but DEI is super important and I'm always going to be an advocate for that. But again, there's only so much I can do myself. Yeah, you know what I mean? Because I can't do everything.
No man's an island. So
exactly.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be your sole responsibility. Like you said, it is culture and it should come from all parts of the business.
Exactly. Sure. Yeah.
So let's kind of switch gears a little bit.
Yes.
Let's talk about outside of Cobalt.
Yes.
And so you work as a presenter, voiceover artist.
Yes.
How do these roles complement your work in the music industry?
I don't know, it's interesting because of Cobalt I've been able to do all these things, and it's not necessarily because of the opportunity. It's more like building my confidence, right? So again, during lockdown, for me personally, it was a personal growth in my life because I didn't know what I was doing. And prior to the lockdown, I was working at Abbey Road Studios as a receptionist and just trying to figure out where I want to go. And the great thing about being a receptionist is that you can see the entire company and see what different departments do, and you can kind of decipher do I want to go down this way? Do I want to go down this way? But I didn't have enough time there to figure it out because COVID came in. So then through COVID, I was just kind of I don't know what I'm really doing. I read a lot of music books. L.A. Reid is one of my inspirations type people. We'll dive into that a little now. But yeah, I didn't know what I was doing. So when I came to Cobalt, and I was able to kind of build my confidence and build my understanding of music business and all that great stuff. That's when I was like, okay, cool. Right, I could do this, but there's an opportunity for me to host this at Cobalt. So if I'm doing it at Cobalt, that could be my training ground. Right. And then I could do other things outside, and then I won't feel as nervous. So I won't, make as many mistakes because I'm doing it all at Cobalt, right? So it complements very well, and I do truly believe. I'm not saying Cobalt is the reason, you know what I mean? But it's part of it. It's part of the journey, and it's given me a platform, a stage to be able to use and grow, and then even building like certain relationships, not just in London, within LA and New York, with people out there who are like, oh, well, because you're doing this over here, when you come over to LA, we want you to kind of do this and do that. So Cobalt has given me the opportunity to grow as a host and a presenter. With the voiceover stuff, that's just kind of like, I've thought this year, I was like, at the beginning of the year, I was like, oh, I really want to like get into that, because people was like, oh, you have a really nice voice. And I'm like, do I?
Actually, yeah. Yeah.
Appreciate it. So I was like, okay, cool. And then it was funny because I was thinking about it, and then my friend Justna, who runs Young Music Boss, we collaborated at Cobalt. We did a collaboration for International Women's Month. So she came over with her co-worker and another friend of mine called Rakaya, and we were just all there, just in the kitchen, kind of getting things ready. And she would just turn around to me. She was like, we're looking for a voiceover artist to voice the award show, because they have a Young Music Boss award shows. Okay. And I was like, sure. But inside I was like, oh my God, like, am I really good? This is like an award show. This is not like a little, it's a big thing. And Young Music Boss Awards is well known, right? And it's becoming even more known. So I was like, inside I was like, oh my God. But of course I was like, yes, because it aligned. Yeah. So I'm very proud of that. And hopefully I can do more voiceover work. But when it comes to presenting and hosting, Cobalt has given me the stage to kind of like, grow within that space, and then be able to do it in other areas as well. Because, like I said, it's my training ground.
Yes, and I really like that. And you touched on L.A. Reid being a inspiration for you. So let's kind of dig into that.
Yes, it is. Yeah. The reason why is because I, as queer exec, essentially what queer exec is I want to be an executive within the industry as a queer black man. Yeah. So queer exec. Yeah. But also, I want to be a public figure, right? And like, I feel like L.A. Reid embodies that. He's somebody that's, founded like Rihanna and like, Lady Gaga and all these people. But then he's gone on to have his own brand. Like L.A. Reid has his own brand. So he's gone on, he did like American Idol. Yeah. He was a judge on that, So he has his like, people know him for him outside of him being a music exec. He's known as a person, as a brand, and that's essentially
like a Simon Cowell.
Yeah, like a Simon Cowell, or like a Jay-Z, like he's a rapper, but obviously like a mogul and stuff like that. So like that's essentially what I want. Like, and when I read his book and just kind of understanding his journey and how he got to be where he is today, obviously it was a lot that he had to do. And one thing I realized that it's like it's about the journey, it's not about the destination. Yeah, and sometimes the journey can be very long.
It can be very long. It can be left, right,
up, down. Oh my God, you'd be pushed over, shoved over this way. I'm just like, but as long as you stay determined and you have the passion and all that great stuff, you will eventually get there. But yeah, as queer exec, that's essentially, I want it to be a brand, because I want it to be I want to represent other queer black men in the industry, or who want to enter the industry, or not even in the industry, just queer black men in general, to just genuinely be yourself. Go and get what you want to get, because we can do it too.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. And I know that we're talking about, queer and kind of the community.
Yeah.
And so your mission is to inspire the queer community to be authentic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm trying.
Well, yeah.
Trying.
So what does authenticity mean to you and your own personal story?
Showing up and showing it out.
Showing up and showing out.
Yeah, this is me showing up and showing out. Like, truly just being myself, whatever that is. And with me, it's the hat, it's the fashion, it's the heels, it's this, it's that. That's me showing up and showing out, right? With no apologies given.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to swear, but like, no F's given, okay? Let's keep it PG. You never know. No F's given, because I just truly believe, like, I have had to really work to get here. And a lot of people, even from young, they would say I'm very confident, I'm outspoken and all that great stuff, and that's great. But there are times when I don't feel like that, and so I've really had to like work myself up, and thankfully I have people around me who also give me the fuel, the charge in my battery pack, to be myself authentically. But like, genuinely, it's showing up and showing out regardless of what space you're in. Is being your true self, because I truly do believe that like, if you show up up as who you are, and people will then have to acknowledge you, they have to respect you, and that's how they see you, right? If you hide yourself or dim your light or whatever, people can take advantage of you, people can misread you, you know, all that thing. But if I'm like, this is who I am,
there's no misconstruing.
Oh, there's nothing. No,
exactly.
you can't get it wrong. Like this is it, and you either love it or you hate it or you respect it, you don't. But that's on you. That's not on me.
That is not
right?
Yeah.
And I remember I did a panel discussion at the Barbican Centre a while ago. A good friend of mine called Amelia Powham, she's a presenter. She asked me a question about like how, like, what do you do to kind of like show up every day? Like, what is your ritual essentially? And I was like, it's very interesting because it was a question where I was like taken aback, like, what do I act?
Yeah.
Like, how do what's the steps, right? And I was like, that's such an interesting question. But I feel like, you know, because when you wake up in the morning, that's your first kind of like inkling, and people like to wake up and journal, or people wake up and stretch, or do whatever. And I truly do wake up, I open my eyes and I say to myself, let's go.
Right. You're ready.
Yeah. I'm drained. Oh, I'm tired. Yeah, I'm absolutely tired.
You're setting that tone.
Yeah.
Day,
like,
right?
let's just go.
Yeah.
Let's just do it. Whatever it is, what we're doing today, we're going to tackle it. We're going to do it gracefully. We're going to do it with style. And let's just go. And there are days where I'm not always dressed like this. Sometimes I'm in a tracksuit, you know what I mean? Sometimes I've got my hoodie up and I'm just navigating, you know, when I'm doing whatever. But most days I am like this because this is how I like to present myself. So yeah, when I wake up, I do truly say to myself, okay, cool, let's do it. Let's go. Let's tackle it. And let's just keep going. And whatever the day brings is what the day brings.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So it's so important.
It's so important.
And again, I keep going back to like how you set the tone for the day.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, it all ties in with the mindset, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
And you can wake up and choose to scroll on your phone.
Absolutely.
I always like to start my day off with just 5 minutes, just prayer, 5 minutes.
There you go.
Like, this is how I want the day to go.
There you go.
This is what I'm grateful for. Yes. And it really does change the way that you're thinking about how your day
It does.
It's so important.
And also what I do, so I do that. So I'm not necessarily a religious person. So I don't necessarily wake up and pray, but I do wake up and speak to myself, right? And I guess I'm speaking to my inner spirituality and all that great stuff. So I am telling myself, today's going to be a good day. You're going to look great. Da, da, da. But then what I do before I leave my house and I'm all in my, you know, I'm dressed up and all that great stuff, I'll look at myself in the mirror for at least a minute.
Yep.
And just say to myself, you look good. Your skin's amazing. Your teeth are white. You got money in the bank. Okay.
Life is good.
Life is good. And you know, just be happy that, yes, there is a space that you want to be in. You know, there's a level that I want to reach and there's a goal that I want to achieve. But this is where you are right now. And you're healthy. You have a roof over your head. You've just ate breakfast. Yep. You know, all that great stuff. And so let's go. And then I just I strut out the house, and then I go off and do my thing. So yeah, that was a really good question.
Your needs are met.
My needs are met.
Once you're still working on them, but your needs are
precisely. And the great thing about doing that for myself is that regardless of what the day brings, I'm in a good space.
Yes.
And then I can handle it accordingly. Do you know what I mean? If I start off chaotic, you know, because one of my pet peeves is when you are getting on a train, but like people are getting off the train, but people are trying to get on as well. And it's like, hold on. Like, we've
lost manners. There's no train etiquette.
There's no train etiquette. And I saw it on TikTok and I was like, if I could repost it 3,000 times, I would. Yeah. But I was like, things like that would annoy me, like if I had a chaotic morning. But do you know what? In the morning, I'm just like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I will wait. Like, it's fine. I'm going to get on the train regardless.
I'm going to get to where I need to be, water up a duck's back. Yeah.
There you go.
That's a lovely way to exist. I think you need to exist like that in London.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, it will kill you.
Oh my God, you have to exist like that. Like, you need to have the right mindset. And I know because of the weather and all that great stuff, it does affect us a lot. And it's true. Yeah. It's seasonal depression. Like, hearing that it may rain for 50 days is wild, right? And that can truly knock people over. Yeah. Like, that could truly knock people into depression, anxiety, you know, all that, you know, bad stuff. But like, it really is just really trying to build a strong mindset and just be like, regardless of what it is, just get an umbrella and keep going.
Yes, exactly.
Honestly, and get a big one as well.
Weather the storms.
Theoretically
and in
I know. I hear you loud and clear. Yeah, I understand.
So, as queer exec, your aim is to represent Black gay men.
Yes.
Owning their truth in all spaces. So, what challenges does this represent, and how do you overcome them?
So I think a big challenge for me that I definitely want to speak about is respect, because, you know, there's a lot of people in the industry and adjacent who don't necessarily respect me because of my sexuality, which is actually wild, because why is my sexuality the leading factor, right? Like, why are you not looking at my skill set and my talent and the things that I can bring to the table? Why is it that how I choose to live my life is a massive problem for you? And then in that case, you then don't respect me, and you can't respect me enough to then be in the space to then vocalize my opinions and thoughts and my skill. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So respect is one thing that I always find challenging, and it's always challenging to my own community as Black. As a Black person, right? As Black people, it's always the Black community that are the ones who don't respect me as much. And which is a shame, because like I would love to be respected by my own community. And I'm not saying the entire community, because obviously I have...
There's problems.
There's so many... There is issues, yeah.
Culturally, like what is happening?
Yeah. Right.
Like
for me, like, listen, I have a load of Black friends and brown friends who love me, respect me, and want to see me win. But then there are, you know, some people within the industry who are in certain positions who may see me and just be like, why is this person here? Just because of, you know, who I am and how I dress and whatever. And it is a shame that our culture, Black culture, is embedded and is rooted in homophobia. Sorry.
Homophobia. Right?
That's it.
Yeah.
Sorry. Now I.
It's rooted in homophobia.
Yes, it is. It's like it's literally, and it's embedded. Homophobia is embedded in Black culture, and the reason why Queer Exec exists is to show the people who are like me, whether they're in London or in Africa or in the Caribbean or whatever, that at least one of us can go out there and be themselves and you know, almost to them sometimes living the dream, right? Because some people, like, because I'm from Uganda, and obviously in Uganda it's illegal to be gay, right? It's, you know, at 90% of the time you can die.
Yeah.
You can be killed. Not even die, you can literally be killed. So I want Queer Exec, and you know, with the Queer Exec thing, it will bring a lot of, you know, backlash. It will bring a lot of negativity from people who don't understand, right? And like I said, I will try with everything in my power with Queer Exec to help others who are like me to, you know, live their truth. But in some cases, especially in Uganda, they may never get to live their truth, right? But as long as they can see me and be like, at least there's a Ugandan Black boy out there representing us, living the dream that they would love to live. And I can use my voice to be like, this is for you. Whoever you are, I've never met you, but whoever you are, I'm doing this for you because I understand my privilege. And, you know, it's funny, I said this the other day, and my friend was like, it's interesting that you say that you understand your privilege because why? You shouldn't have to feel like you're privileged. Like, because the reason why I say that is because I feel like I'm privileged because I am a Black gay man who lives in London. So I have...
you have a certain level of freedom, I guess.
Right, exactly. Right. I have a certain level of freedom to live my life, right? But if I was a Black gay man in Uganda or in Jamaica or whatever, my freedom wouldn't necessarily be free. Right. Like, I would be in fear or I'd be scared. So that's why I say I understand my privilege, and I understand that I just need to do whatever I can with the Queer Exec platform to, you know, represent and to, you know, be that person for people who can't be the person that they want to be. Because I'm sure they want to be like myself, dress, you know, stylish and wear heeled and whatever it is. So I really do hope that I'm doing that. But respect is the biggest challenge, one of the biggest challenges. And I always say to people, respect me and I will respect you. You don't need to like me. No, but you don't need to like what I do. It's common courtesy because I belong in this room just as much as you, my guy.
Humanity counts.
My humanity
no
counts.
less than anybody else.
Precisely.
Right. Absolutely.
Right? Look at me as a human. Mm-hmm. Don't look at me as gay first. If anything, I'm Black first.
Well, this is what I was going to touch on because your Blackness shows up before your queerness shows
Exactly.
Up. Right.
And it's funny because I did, I got to have a lot of conversations. I had a conversation with a friend of mine and I was like, my Blackness and queerness are green flags. They're not red.
Say it again.
My Blackness and queerness are green flags. If anything, it actually brings so much to the table.
Yes.
it brings love, it brings style, it brings friendship. And so, if I want to big myself up a little bit, there's some people like that would want people like in the industry. They're like, oh, I really want to get to this person to do something for me, but because they don't have the relationship, then they will turn to me and be like, oh, because of your
yeah, no, it doesn't quite work like
that. No, you could do that yourself. But because of my relationships and me being open and free, people resonate with that. Yeah, because there are other people outside of the queer community who want to just live their lives however they see fit.
Yes.
So I do. And one thing about the Queer Exec as well, I do want to have conversations and intimate moments with people who aren't a part of the queer community, so they can use my platform as an educational piece.
So you talk about allyship,
yes, allyship, or people who may not even be allies necessarily, but like who are like, I don't really get it, but can you know what I mean? Like, I do want to have those types of conversations.
I think that's really important.
Yes,
otherwise we're in an echo chamber. And who are we talking to? We're not really touching the people that really need the education.
Precisely.
And it's not always our job to educate, but there has to be some kind of meat in the middle.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm happy to do that.
Right.
And I don't know all the answers. I'm still understanding some of the acronyms and letters in my own queer community. You know what I mean? They add more and more every day.
I saw your TikTok reel, and it's about history.
History,
right?
yeah.
History.
Yeah.
A lot of people couldn't say how many flags there were.
Yes. And I'm glad that you said that, because literally I recorded that on it was our summer party at Cobalt. Right. That was a Wednesday. I edited it on Thursday and I posted it Thursday evening. It happened like within a day. Yeah, because I was like, I need to get it out, right? And it's Pride Month, so that's amazing. This is
yes.
Look at you aligning. It's Pride Month. So I wanted to do that because and I strategically asked people who aren't necessarily a part of the community or are allies, right? And I just wanted to ask them questions, but easy questions. What does LGBTQIA stand for? Or how many pride flags are there? Or like, when was it legalized to be homosexual in the UK?
Which was, I thought it was in the 70s, but it was actually 60s.
Yeah, 1967. Yeah. And I only knew that when I started.
But this is what I'm saying, it's the education.
It's the education, and I still need to be educated.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, it's fine, it's okay.
I can tell you how many countries in the Commonwealth, or...
This is what I'm saying, so... but I'm okay. Like, I had a conversation with... with my roommate, and we were both like, people need to understand it's okay that we don't know everything. Yeah. Don't be scared to ask questions, regardless of how stupid they may sound, or they're not even stupid, but like, regardless if you may feel like you're stupid, ask those questions.
Have the conversation.
Yeah. And that's what I did at the summer party. I had the conversations, and afterwards they were like, I didn't know. And it's like, it's okay. This is the point of this. And if it makes you feel better, I don't know the answers either.
Right.
Okay, I didn't know there was 20 plus pride flags. Do you know what I mean? I knew the colours and stuff like that. But like, I'm glad that you brought that up, because that was a really fun time. It was really cool.
It's a good reel. People should definitely
Thank you.
We'll give your details where you can watch that at the end.
Of course.
Okay, so how has your identity and personal experience shaped your career and the way that you approach work? And I think we've spoke about this, and you're saying you really show up.
I show up,
you show out.
Yes.
And you lead with that.
Yes, I do. Yes, absolutely. But like, how does my identity... what was the question? How's my identity?
So how does your identity and personal experiences...
That's it, personal experiences shape my...
I should know this.
No, that's okay.
Shaped your career.
Shaped my career and how I approach my work. Oh, wow, that's a really good question. I think I'm going to bring it back to my mother, right? She always said to me growing up, it's the 2 Ps. She says, presentation and perseverance, right? And she's always like, present yourself well. You know what I mean? Always present yourself, because everyone will always remember your first impression. So she said, present yourself well and show up on time.
Yes, punctuality.
Punctuality, yes, the 3 Ps. That's it, 3 Ps. Presentation, punctuality, and perseverance. But she's, present yourself well, because everyone will always remember how you look, right? Show up on time, punctuality, everyone will always remember someone that's early.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they'll always remember someone that's late.
Yeah.
That's right. No, that's no shade. No shade. But like, it's true. It's the thing. It's the thing. A lot of people are late, right? And that could really put a strike on your name. Yeah. You know what I mean? And persevere. Really just put yourself out there and just go for it. And I feel like that foundation, those 3 Ps, really has helped me be who I am in my life, in my career, my personal experiences, because I've used those to navigate my life, right? And I feel like I'm at a good space, and I'm happy that I've listened to her, and I'm happy I'm using those things, because now I'm in a place where I'm like, okay, cool. Yes, there's more, but my journey is doing well. I'm doing well. Like, I'm doing good. But yeah, I feel like though that's my identity, right? That I feel like that's my identity, is presenting myself well and stylishly and showing up on time. Everyone knows me to show up on time. Everyone knows me that I'm stylish, and everyone knows that I'm going to persevere. I'm going to always, wherever I say I'm going to do something, I will do it, right? So yeah, I feel like that's definitely my identity, and that's what I bring to my personal experiences, my personal life, and my career as well.
It's like it's your branding, your calling card.
Yes,
we know that this is Zacarias.
This is what he's going to bring to the table. Well, some of the stuff he's going to bring to the table. So yeah, that's a great question though, because it's true. Like, who are you, and how do you bring that?
Yes, exactly. And how do you bring it in an authentic way?
Exactly.
I know that we touched on
of course.
Earlier,
yeah.
But it's interesting to think about, to be so introspective and to deal with like identity is such a big question.
Yeah, it is.
I think it's something that you can only really answer along your whole life journey.
Yes.
It changes.
It changes every day. It changes every day.
Right.
I'm not the same person I was yesterday. Right, exactly. I'm not the same person walking to the studio.
Right, exactly.
I now know not to wear heels walking to the studio.
Yeah, next comes to the studio.
Yeah, next time I will bring my flowers. But I know that's funny and it's a little thing, but that's change.
Yes, it is.
Because I know next time that I'll show up differently as Zacarias. And you know what I mean? And show up accordingly to, the environment that I'm in. Adapting, exactly. But no, I'm not the same. We're not the same. We won't be the same tomorrow, next year.
We're not the same.
I know. But it's fun. It's exciting. It really is exciting. And I really do advocate people just really challenging themselves, putting themselves in positions, because even at Cobalt, being in the position that I am now, going from office, being an office coordinator, I was comfortable.
Right.
It was easy. I could do it in my sleep. I'm comfortable. But I was everyone knows, I was I need to challenge myself, right? And being an executive assistant to one of the SVPs of a company, it's challenging.
It's very hard, yeah.
Okay, the guy that I look after, he does a lot of stuff, right? He's across all time zones, doing many different things. So that challenges me to then have to do more, so that I'm then catering to his needs, essentially, his business needs, essentially. Yeah. But then that transfers into my events coordination, because events coordination is all about organization. It's all about burning out fires. It's all about thinking on your feet. It's all about, how do you get an artist to say yes to performing at your company? Do you know what I mean? And all those things, they all come together. That's why I love the fact that I'm an EA as well as event coordinator, because they work hand in hand.
They do. And
then I could take those transferable skills and then put it into my own personal endeavors, whether it's hosting, presenting, voiceover work, or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, I know I've gone on the tangent, but
No. It's important. It's important because my 9 to 5, I also kind of do EA work. So I know how to be. You have to be seamless behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. You have to spread yourself everywhere. And,
yes. Yes, and people are pulling you from different angles and stuff like that. But it's exciting. It's exciting. It is exciting, and it's given me more of an overview of the business as well. Right. I get to sit in meetings that I've never. The other day, I sat in a Spotify meeting, and they would talk about new things, and I was like,
we can't say what the new
I
things
can't
are.
say no. I can't.
They were talking about things.
They were talking about things, and I was like, no, the general public don't necessarily get to hear.
So privy to a lot of these conversations, and we're sitting in rooms with people with such high net worth that we have direct access to.
Yes, exactly, and you know it firsthand because you're in the same position, and I love it. But then it now drives me to then be the person. Yeah. Who's in those meetings, to having these discussions with Spotify or Apple or Facebook or whatever the meeting is about, because that's essentially where I want to be. Like I said, I want to be an exec in the music industry, and it's not always about the glam. It's not always about showcases and artists and going to different events. There's actual things you need to do, actual meetings you need to take.
Actual work.
There's actual work you need to do, meetings you need to take, and hours on end, 2-hour meetings and doing the things. But Yeah, I've gone on, but yes.
No. So how do you think the music industry has evolved in terms of inclusivity and representation for queer individuals, and what changes would you still like to see?
There's still so much change.
Let's talk about the changes first.
There's still so much that can change, still so much that they can evolve, still so much they can, I feel like they've done, okay, let me be honest. There's been work. Of course there's been work, right? I'm here. Yeah. That's work, right? But if you really look at who's at the top, right?
Talk about it.
It's very white. Very male-dominated. Yep. Okay. Very one-dimensional. Thank you. Yeah. Right? Yes, we have a black woman here. And
who does D&I.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? A black woman there. And, we have an Asian woman or blah. Fine. Great. But it's so far and few, okay? And then you go from colour, and then you go to gender, and then you go to actual, I guess like sexual identity, sexual whatever. So there's so much that can change, so much that needs to be changed, and that's again why queer exec. And listen, right? Yes, I love to be an exec in the queer community, exec in the music industry. But if I don't. I just want to use my platform to then open the doors for others that could be. Right? Mm-hmm. Because I'm saying like, guys, like, hello, like we have ideas and, we're driven people and we have things that could, move your business forward. Why are you not hiring queer people? And it doesn't have to be queer people of color, like just queer people across the board, right? So change has been made, fine. But so much more can happen. And the thing is, when you allow us to really be, it's so exciting. There's so much energy. There's so much energy. There's so much fun. There's so much excitement. There's so much intelligence.
I'm just thinking about, I keep bringing up TikTok.
No, go ahead. Yeah, go, please.
But there was, and I can't remember their name, but they are, I think they're Bashman artists and they're queer. And I don't know if that rings a bell.
Bashment artists are queer.
But they are so good. I've seen Bashment artists queer. I've seen drill artists.
Drill artists are queer, yeah.
So it's starting to come to the forefront.
But then it starts, and then again, it comes back to respect because people don't respect them.
No, they don't.
That's why they barely get into certain places. Yeah. Yes, they are visible because it's something that shouldn't be done in that area. So of course there's going to be visibility because they're like, oh my God, there's a gay guy is doing drill music. Of course there's going to be what's going on over here. So there's visibility, but are they in spaces where they can then expand their talent?
Right. Or scale up and make a success of their career.
Right. Exactly.
You don't want it to be novelty.
Right.
But the way that they're doing it, it's so authentic.
It's authentic to that.
I'm really hoping that.
I'm really hoping. But then again, it does, because in drill music or hip hop music or whatever, it's rooted in masculinity.
Yeah.
It's
toxic masculinity. Yeah.
Girl, you said it, not me. It's rooted in toxic masculinity. It's rooted in, black men who have been raised a certain way. Yeah. So if they have a gay man doing drill music, they're not going to respect him.
It challenges the norm.
It challenges their norm.
Their norm. Yes.
Yeah, their norm. Not it's not the norm. It's their norm.
Correct, yeah.
And they will not respect them. And until they respect them, this is the reason why, right? I feel like I'm lucky in the sense because I do have a lot of straight friends. It's because they respect me. Because they see me outside of my sexuality. They just see me as Zacarias. Yeah. Yes, I'm queer and I'm flamboyant or whatever you want to call me, eccentric and androgynous or whatever. But they see past that and they actually see me as someone that's caring.
Your character.
My character. Do you know what I mean? Yes, correct. My character. So and that takes work. It's not easy. I'm not saying it's not easy, but like you're building a relationship, and like people who do drill music and hip hop music, whatever, and they want to come into a space that it's predominantly, a straight male space, and you're knocking on the door, they're gonna be like, who the fuck? Like, who's this?
Right, exactly.
And when it comes to hip hop and rapping and stuff, you need to show that you have the talent. Right? Before they can respect you as an artist. Yep. Right? But because you're gay, they're only going to see you as a gay and gay man.
Pigeonhole you, won't they?
Of course they will. Of course they will. And that's a shame. Yeah. That's why it's always comes to respect. Yes. And if they don't respect you, it's going to be very, very difficult.
But even in the queer community, and I look at Black Pride, for example.
Yes. Love Black Pride.
Still have to kind of not other ourselves, but build our own platform.
I know.
Even within the spaces of our spaces.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
Oh my
like
God, I'm so happy that you said that. Isn't that wild?
And I had a friend, and I had to explain to them like why Black Pride needs to exist.
Of course.
They didn't quite get it. They didn't understand the division. I said it's not a division; it's a safe space. The same way Pride exists because you need a safe space is the same way that we need Black Pride to exist.
Absolutely.
So what are your thoughts on kind of like Black Pride and?
I think Black Pride is great. I've been there a few times. I do love the space. It's super fun. Like, I don't go all the time, but I do like the space. But I do understand what you mean about, people look at like, why do you have to have your own, pride? But there's a reason why. It's because we weren't included as Black and brown people. We weren't included in the pride that they have, And it's funny because sometimes I think back in the day, Black Pride and Pride were like the day after.
Yeah, they were very close together.
They were literally Pride and then there was Black Pride. So it did feel like a division, right? I remember times I'm like, they're like, are you going Pride this year? Are you going Black Pride this year? And I'm like, why do I I'm going both maybe. Yeah. But then it slowly, if I'm going to be honest, I was like, I'm not going to go to Pride. I want to go to where I'm celebrated, right? But I do understand because I have a friend that has the same conversation. It's like, why do we have to even separate ourselves within ourselves, right? Like, we're all gay. Why can't we just all be together? But there's still racism within.
And the respect, when you're talking about respect, that's still lacking.
That's still lacking.
The racism.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And there's still colorism within our own queer community or Black community or whatever. So that's why there is a space like Black Pride. But like, it's interesting to me. This is the reason why I said to you, I was like, I really want to use my platform and speak to people who aren't necessarily part of the community so that they can see that it is the norm, right? Mm-hmm. It is the norm. And it's like, I really do want to have those kind of conversations with, I guess, straight people, essentially. Straight people, so they can educate themselves, they can understand us, they can do whatever, and maybe even bring them to a Pride and be like, listen, it's just the same as you going to DLT Malta.
Right, exactly.
Right, it's just Black.
Its own set of troubles and all on itself.
This is what I'm saying. Right, but exactly. Because the reason why I said it is because I've got a load of friends that have gone over there and I keep seeing it on my story. I'm like, oh my God. But like, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
DLT Malta and the spaces where you're bringing Black people together who love certain type of music and they're all having a great time. That's essentially what Black Pride is. Yeah. Black people come together to dance to certain type of music and to celebrate us.
Yes, and to feel safe in that space.
So then I would then be like, okay, but why can't we have a DLT meets Black Pride moment? Because we love Amapiano, hip hop, drill. Well, there's something. Maybe not me, but like we love music, hip hop. We love all this music. So that I would challenge DLT and Recess and on those spaces. That's why I love Everyday People, because Everyday People is like the collaboration between the Recess type vibe. But it's with people who are just open. It's not necessarily gay people, but people who are open. So you can have allies who are just comfortable with their sexuality and they have friends who are, they have a guy twerking in the corner and they don't give a shit.
Right. It's not like, oh, we're looking. And
exactly. But they're just expressing themselves. Right, if anything, just hype them up and be like, you're doing your thing. And you want to do whatever you want to do. Who cares? Exactly. Like, why are you so pressed?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I would challenge DLT Malta to collaborate with Black Pride because that would be iconic.
That would be amazing.
That would be iconic.
Yes.
Because we also
cut you a check for that as well if it comes to fruition.
Well, listen, it's on record. It's been recorded, so I would use the soundbite and I'll just send it to them and be like, "Hello." Yeah. But yeah, like I think Black Pride is great. It's beautiful. It's a celebration. But yeah, I do hear what you're saying though. Like having our own separation within our own. It's weird. It's so crazy. Like again, like you said, it's respect. Like people. It's respect, and it's just wild.
It is wild. But,
and it's so tiring as well.
It is tiring. That's the other element of it, isn't it? It's the like again saying that we shouldn't have to be the ones where the education falls down. It's our responsibility. Unfortunately, it still very much is in that space.
Because who else will do it?
Who else will do it? Yeah.
Who else will do it? Who else will challenge? Who else will? If we don't do it, then it just.
Who does it fall to?
Precisely.
Yeah,
it has to go to someone.
Okay, so we're going to kind of wrap things up.
Yeah.
But before we do, what advice would you give to young queer individuals aspiring to enter the creative industry and stay true to themselves? Oh my
God. It's funny because when I read that question, I was like, God, I could get emotional about this because I could probably just talk about myself as well. Like, it's almost like giving advice to young queer males, but that's also like talking to my younger self as well.
What would you say to your younger self?
What would I say to my younger self that was essentially
having a RuPaul moment now?
I know. What would I say? She's so good. But like, but also, what would I say to the young queer men who want to do whatever they want to do? Yeah. what would I say? You see, sometimes I'm like, I want to be monumental here. No, kidding. I just keep it simple. I just honestly keep it simple. Find your tribe.
Important.
And the thing is, your tribe could start off with one person, then it turns into 2 people, then it turns into 4, then it turns into 8. But find people who celebrate you, right? Who want to see you win, or like genuinely want to see you win, genuinely want you to be your amazing self, and genuinely want you to just succeed in life. And it's so simple, but it's so effective. Having 1 or 2 people at least who are just genuinely like, Zacarias, you're doing well. We're going to keep uplifting you. We're going to show up for you.
Yes.
Wherever you need us, we'll be there. Do you know what I mean? Whether it is showing up to a panel discussion or showing up to a showcase that I do, or, you know, just showing up, period. We'll be there. Like, having those people will truly help you navigate whatever you're trying to navigate. It's so true. Like, just really finding your tribe is so important. And also, don't be afraid to experiment.
That's important.
Don't be afraid to experiment and document your experimentation. Like, document it. I don't regret, but I am like, I wish I could see my older pictures, because, oh honey, I'm the one that like untags. I deleted my Facebook. I was like, no. I know, but I like it kind of like works hand in hand. And like, I don't really care to like have pictures around my house, or I'm somebody that I don't really hold on. Like, when I move homes, I don't really care to hold on to certain things.
Sentimental.
Yeah, like, I'm not really that type of person, kind of. But now I'm like, oh, it would have been great if I could see how I look like 10 years from now. Do you know when people get like their 10 years ago on Instagram or Snapchat?
Like at 18.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't know. Well, I mean, I'm sure the pictures are somewhere. I mean, it's a digital space. I'm sure I can find it. But like, I don't have it like on, you know, on the go. But like, I would say experiment, but document your experimentation. It's just like you're going to the gym. You want to document your body getting better. Document your phases. Yeah. You know, there's going to be phases where you're like, what the hell was I doing? Yeah. But then the reason why I say document it is because then you'll see your growth. You'll see your growth, because I have the memories in my head, but I just would love to see it in physical. But I know how I look like 10 years. I know exactly how I look like 10 years ago, and it makes me cringe. But I would know that if I saw myself now 10 years ago, I'll be like, oh, we do get there.
Yeah, don't worry. It gets better.
It gets better. Just, yes, do it. Wear those wigs and go blonde and oh my God, all these things. But like,
but did you have fun while you were doing it?
I did. Oh no, I had fun. Oh, I have absolutely had fun. Yeah, absolutely had fun, because in the moment I felt I looked fantastic.
And that's all that matters.
But then looking back, you're like, what the hell is going on?
We thank God for growth.
If we thank God for growth, if we thank God for our friends being truthful.
Yes.
Okay, and that's it. You see, there's so many things. So many things are coming up my mouth. But like, number one, find your tribe. Find people that uplift you, that will celebrate you, that want you to see you win, and who are truthful to you. You know what I mean? Like, who can hold you accountable for certain things, and, you know, make sure that you're not thinking too negatively about life and all that great stuff. So find your tribe, and don't be afraid to experiment in style and, you know, in music or whatever you want to do. Just don't be afraid to experiment, and document your experiments, because then you'll see your growth. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's all I have.
No, that was amazing.
Is that monumental?
That was monumental. I think so. Yeah.
Okay, good. That's what I wanted.
But before, you know, we've come to the end. I like to always end on values.
Yes. Oh, I've been waiting for this moment, because I think I chose my. Do I? Yeah. Okay. Go on.
So let's start with a value for your personal life.
So value for my personal life is abundance.
Great word. Yep.
It's abundance. I just want abundance. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Abundance in
love and experience in friendship, in money. You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely.
Okay. I just want abundance. You know what I mean? I just want to live a good life, right? And however that looks like to me personally, I just want an abundance of, like you said, love and friendship and, you know, all that amazing things, because that's what I feel like that's what we all aspire to have, is just having a good life with good people around us, being able to just afford to do things. Because like I said, money doesn't rule the world, but it affords us opportunities. to live experiences, right? We all want to travel the world and go to Asia and do all these different things, but honey, that costs money.
It does cost money.
Okay,
yeah.
But I'm hoping that one day, well, I'm sure that one day I'll have an abundance of that and I'll be able to travel the world, because I really do want to do that. But yeah, love and friendship and happiness, abundance.
Abundance breeds abundance, and then you have it to give to others around you.
Absolutely.
Which is the more important thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's what I want. I want that. I want my glass to be full, so that whatever tips over, you guys can have that. And if that's abundance, then you take it and have fun with it. As long as I'm full, I got you guys.
And so for your professional life?
Legacy.
I want
to leave a legacy. Yeah. I truly do, and it will start off with Queer Exec. Well, it starts off with Zacarias.
Right.
It starts off with Zacarias, and then Queer Exec, and then whatever else. But like, I want to leave a legacy behind, because I'm doing it for the gay men that do not have a voice, or who are scared to use their voice.
Right.
Because like I said, I'm privileged enough to use my voice. I'm using it right now, and there isn't going to be any stigma. I'm not going to be fearful. No persecution. If anything, I'm probably going to be praised and loved, and people are going to be like, thank you for sharing. You know what I mean? Because I'm in that space. But I want to do this for people who are not, like I said, I wanted to rephrase it, not who don't have a voice, who are scared to use their voice.
Right. That's the important differentiation.
It's very important, because they have a voice.
Yeah.
They really do, and they probably do share it with their friends and stuff, but in a place where it's not heard.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you mean?
Well, you've used your voice beautifully today.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to use my voice.
No, absolutely. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
And if people want to follow your journey, where can they find you?
So, Queer Exec, QUEEREXEC, all platforms, Queer Exec. I am the Queer Exec. My name is Zacarias Charles, and I'm so thankful for you. Thank you for letting me be on your show. Thank you for using your voice. Okay, because you're bringing attention to many different things, and I'm just so happy that you allowed me to speak on queerness, blackness, and all things that fall underneath that.
It's been my pleasure, honestly, and it's such an important topic and conversation to have. So, yes.
Thank you. And thank you for letting me sit on the side.
By the way, we had to swap sides, and I like to sit on that side because of my dimple, just FYI.
Just FYI, but do you know what's so funny? Just before we wrap up, my friends are going to die, right? Because they know that I like to sit on this side. Yeah. So when they see me on this side, they're going to be like, I bet you anything he asked that. And the fact that you said that, they're going to be like, oh, for God.
No, I want my guests to come comfortable.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. This is good. This was really good.
And thank you for tuning in for another episode. And if you want to follow the Black Circle journey, we are on Instagram on the Black Circle podcast and on YouTube on the Black Circle. Woo.